Wait. I have to make my thing smaller. There we go.
Yeah, you're on the right track though. Keep going.
6, 9, 7, and 795.
All right, so let's think about it. So you borrowed over here, right? Because you borrowed from this 10, so you had to get your 10 up here, right? So then this was 9. So that's all right.
So can we do the repeat addition? Subtraction.
Bodhi, are you learning repeat addition too?
Means subtraction. Repeated addition.
Multiplication.
You're learning multiplication.
Yep.
Repeated addition is for multiplication. Repeated subtraction is for division.
All right, so let me pull up.
Repeated subtraction.
Yeah, I'm working on pulling up some repeated addition problems. And that'll kind of go into multiplication too. Because really repeated addition is just a different way of doing multiplication. All right, are you there, Modi?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Have you seen repeated addition yet?
This is multiplication.
I do arrays, I do all that.
All right, cool. So repeated addition is another way that you can look at multiplication because the two of them are related.
3, for example, 2 times 3. You can do.
Yeah, so this one right here, we've got 6 chicks. So if you look at it, there are 3 different groups of chicks. We've got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. There's 3 groups of 2 chicks. So one way you can do the problem is saying, all right, I've got 3 groups. There's 2 in each group. So that's 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. The other way you can do it is by using multiplication. So you can say I've got 3 groups. There's 2 in each group. So 3 times 2 is 6. So I've got a couple examples here. So how would we group these apples?
2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which equals 8. So 4 2's equals 8.
Exactly. Not let me write on it, so I'm just going to do this.
Oh my God.
Yep. So we've got 8. So again, the way that you can do this is either 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8, or you've got 4 2s, so that's 4 times 2. So let's do the one with the pairs next. So how would you group up the pairs? This one you got a hint. This one it doesn't give you any hints. What number should go in these gray boxes?
8.
So what we want to do is we want to put them into groups. So we've got 1 group of pairs. Exactly. So we've got 2 groups here of equal size. They each have 2.
Yeah, and 2 plus 2 equals, and 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Perfect. So then down here, same thing. We have two groups of 2s. So that one was kind of confusing because it's all 2s. So let's look at the strawberries. So how do we do this one?
Repeated subtract.
Well, we will add 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 is 4.
So we got to keep going, right?
Yep. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, all of them equals 10. 10 plus 2.
So if I want to write that as a multiplication problem, how do I write that?
You have to write 5 groups of 2.
Perfect. And that still equals 10, right?
Yep. So if you do it in division, like 10 divided by 2, it'll give you 10. I mean 10 divided by 2, it'll give you 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
why don't we
what
do this one like division?
Okay.
So we've got these groups here. So I've got 12 lemons here, right?
Yes.
So if I want to divide that into my groups, how many groups do I have?
You'd have 3 groups of 4. 4 groups of 3, because
Yep.
there's 3 in each group. 12 times 3 equals 4.
Yeah, so you can do it either way. 12 divided by, you said we got 4 groups, right? So 12 divided by 4 groups is going to be 3 lemons, which is good because that is how many we've got in each of these groups. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
All right.
So can we do subtraction, addition? What is that thing called?
You want to do repeated subtraction next?
Yes.
All right, let me pull it up real quick.
JLC. So, just kidding. Yeah, that is a inappropriate word. That's funny. Wait, just kidding me like I just played with some.
All right, so repeated subtraction. Again, this is just the opposite of what we were just doing here. So rather than adding up our groups to get our final total number, we're going to do it the opposite. We start with our total number and we're going to subtract until we end up with 0. So
repeated addition is like when you're doing 45 minus 45.
yeah, so let's say we want to solve this problem. So we want to know how many times times does 15 go into 45? So the way that we do this using subtraction, so we start with 45. And then for the first one, we're going to minus 15.
Moses went up to the plains of Moab. So, like 45 minus 15 equals 30.
Equals 30. Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing again. This is repeated subtraction. So we're going to subtract another 15. So what's 30 minus 15?
Aja. Grandma.
Okay. I think Esther had to take off. Modi, do you know what's 30 minus 15? Modi, did we lose you?
Oopsie, sorry, I didn't know I was muted. I think it's 15.
It is 15. That's exactly right. So again, repeated subtraction.
15 minus 15.
You got
Equals
30.
zero. It's not 30 because we read it.
Yep, so it's 0. So what we've done here is we started out with our 45 and we just kept subtracting 15 until we ended up with 0. So the answer is, so we subtracted 15 how many times? We did 1, 2, 3 times. So that means 45 divided by 15 is what? Esther, what do you think the answer is? So if we took 45 and we subtracted 15 3 times, what's 45 divided?
It's 3.
Exactly.
I got it right?
Yeah.
Can I try some of my own?
Yeah, let me show you. I've got another one that you can work out by yourself.
My teacher, her name is Miss Brown. I know people.
Okay, so this one, we've got 6 divided by 2. Now, I bet you guys can do this in your head, but why don't you show me how we would do this using repeat subtraction. So go ahead and write on the screen how you think you would do this with repeated subtraction.
Oh, okay. I wrote 3. Yeah, okay. So repeated subtraction, it's like 6. What's 6.2 equals 4? 4 minus 2 equals 2. 2 minus 2
4 minus 2 is 2, which is 0.
Yep, that's right. So how do you get your answer of 3?
Because 3 times 2 equals 6.
That is true. When you're using your repeat subtraction, though, what you want to do is count how many times you subtracted 2. So we've got 1 right here, we've got 1 right here, and 1 right here. So we subtracted 2 3 times. So that means that your answer 3 is right.
Yes, it is.
All right, let's try another one here.
Can I try 3 divided by 6 divided by 3?
Sure. So let's do here.
It's Friday and I won't be long.
All right, 6 divided by 3. So how do you do that with repeat subtraction?
What the?
She left.
Are you trying to write on the screen, Modi? Is it not working for you?
I'm not writing on the screen.
I have no idea what just happened.
Yeah, I thought something was wrong with the internet.
Oh, okay. So how do we do 6 divided by 3 using repeat subtraction?
So 6 divided by 3 is, I have thought it's 2. Just 2. Because we gotta do 6 minus 3, which equals 3. So then this will be 3. So 3.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh. Oh. People keep on saying it's confusing. And then that's when it starts to confuse me.
Yeah, so you just keep subtracting that same number until you get to 0. And then at the very end, you count up how many times you subtracted. So let's
Yeah,
do
can I
one.
see on my screen? I want to say something.
So why don't we do one that's a little bit more complicated?
Okay.
So let's do
5.
48 divided by 8. So what's the first step
That's
here?
what she always does. She thinks that she can just put it there for some. Oh. So 48 divided by 8 equals 6.
Not quite. So why don't we do it using repeat subtraction? So 48 minus 8, what's that?
48 minus 8 equals 40.
40, okay. So, and we again, just keep doing it. So what's 40 minus 8?
32.
32, that's right.
Clever me.
All right, let's do it again. What's 32 minus 8?
All right. Oh, my screen. Um.
Modi, do you know? What's 32
I see.
minus 8?
I see. What's 32 minus 8? Thank you very much. This is gonna. 32 minus 8. It's 31.
So 32 minus 8. So let's do it this way. What's 32 minus 2?
30.
Hey Siri, what's 32
30.
minus 8? Thank you. It's 24.
30.
It is, yep, it's 24. So because if we've got 32 minus 8. So if we're going to do that, we can do that the long ways too. So 2 minus 8, you can't do that, right? So we're going to borrow 1 from here.
Wait.
Yep, so we borrow 1. So this is now 2. So what's 12 minus 8?
12 minus 8 equals 11, 10, 9, 8, 9.
It's 24.
5.
Yep, so you're exactly right, Modi. So 12 minus 8 is 4, and then we carry the 2 down. So 32 minus 8 is 24.
So 24 minus. So 4 minus what?
Yep, so now we got to keep
4
going.
minus 8.
So 24
8
minus
4 equals 4. It's 4.
24 minus 8. It's got to be more than that, right?
Uh-huh.
So why don't we do it the long ways? So let's borrow 1 from here. So now we got 14. So what's 14 minus 8? Modi, do you know? What's 14 minus 8?
6.
Yeah, 6. So then we carry our 1 down here. So 24 minus 8 is 16. So we're not quite done yet. We got a couple more to go. So let's do it again. So what's 16 minus 8?
16 minus 8 is 16.
Wait, what did you say again?
16 minus 8
8.
is 8. That's exactly right. So we've got 1 left, right? 8 minus 8 is 0. All right, so now we did all of that work, but what does it mean? So
We're not done.
We're not done, no, because we want to know what's 48 divided by 8.
It's 6.
So how do you know that?
Because 6 times 8 equals 48. And there's no other way to make 48. There is actually like 40 plus 8.
So how do we know that that's right based on our long division that we did? How can we tell? How can we prove it based on the work we did?
I'm the Grinch. I don't want to steal Christmas from anybody.
So what you do is you count how many times you subtracted 8.
I'm sorry about the background noise.
Oh, that's okay. So let's count these up. How many times did we subtract 8 out of 48? Can you tell, Esther? How many times?
How many times? 6 tabs.
Yep. So division's pretty easy if you already know from your multiplication table what the answer should be. But when you get into some of these really big numbers, or maybe they're numbers that you don't know the multiplications for, this is a way you can do it, that you can just break it down step by step, and you can always prove that you're right.
Yeah.
Have you done repeat multiplication or repeat addition or subtraction using a number line?
I don't learn repeated addition. I learned repeated addition. I didn't learn repeated addition on the number line or repeated addition on. Repeated subtraction on a number line.
Okay, well, I can show you what that looks like.
I want it to be a surprise.
Esther, can you erase your stuff from the screen?
It won't let me.
Oh, it won't. Okay. All right. So this is your regular number line, right? From 0 to 10. So when you're doing repeat subtraction or addition on a number line, you basically use the number line to count backwards. So our problem here is 10 divided by 2. So we start off at 10 and we want to end up at 0. So what you do for your number line, take 10 and you go back 2.
2. See, it's 5. We go back 2. Are you ready? Now repeat the division.
Yeah, so the answer is 5. But what you do, you subtract 2 once, you subtract 2 again, you subtract 2 until you get all the way to 0. So you basically jump. You go in sets of 2 and you jump all the way back to 0. So once you do that, then you count how many sections you jumped, okay? So here we've got 1 section, 2 sections, 3, 4, 5. So that's how we know, using the number line with repeated subtraction, that 10 divided by 2 is 5. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you have questions on that?
It makes it lots and lots and lots and lots. Do you know, I just jump. It says lots of them. It makes lots of sense.
Cool. Well, do you want to try one? Let's try a different one.
What? How do we draw a number line of repeated subtraction?
How do you draw? You want to draw one? We can do that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do 12 divided by 2. So when you draw a number line, you always start at 0 and you want to finish at whatever we're counting up to.
We're counting up to 12.
Exactly. So you make a little tick mark for every 1 all the way up to 12. Okay, so for this problem, we've got from 0 all the way to 12. Are you raising your hand, Modi? No, okay. All right, so how would we use the number line to solve this problem?
So I just got the pen. So like, okay, 0, 1.
The answer
2, 3.
The answer is 12 times, the answer of 12 times 2 is 6.
12 divided by 2, but that is the right answer. So let's do it on the number line.
1.
All I have to do is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Yeah, looks like you've got the right idea, Esther. So you kind of jump back to.
It's 6. I have a really cool pen over here.
Yep, so we're jumping back on the number line by 2 every time. So we go back to 10, back to 8, back to 6, 4, 2, all the way to 0. And then we count how many sections we've got here. So Modi, you said you think we should have 6 sections?
So what my teacher would do is that we would go skipping by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And on the top, they would put how we're counting up by 2s. We're counting up by 2s. We're counting up by 2s. When you're making those hills, you she does sometimes. So you know, sometimes you have number lines.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, sometimes you have to put 2's to tell you what you're multiplying on. Like what multiplication you're doing.
Okay, so you would put 2, 2, 2 on each of these.
Yep.
So then at the end, you count up how many 2's there are, right?
Back. I'm in scoring.
Is that what your teacher does, Modi?
Yep.
Okay, so then we count, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we still get to the same answer, but that makes sense.
So, like,
Do you have a question, Esther?
wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 2 plus 2.
All right.
I don't have a question.
All right, we can use this same number line to do some different problems.
Like 5 divided by 4.
So let's go
Yeah.
So let's add to our number line a bit. So let's do 15 divided by 3. So how would I start this one?
That's five. That's
15 divided by 3 equals
the
5.
answer is 5. All you have to do is just skip from 5 to 10 to 15.
So if I do that though, then I'm doing 15 divided by 5, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, 5. 15 divided by 3 is 5.
That is right. So what we're gonna do is go up, count by 3's, right? So we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all the way up. So Modi, you said your teacher then puts your 3's on each hump, right?
Mummies.
Okay, and then we count these, right? So how many of these do we have?
5.
5, exactly. So if we wanted to do it backwards though, if we wanted to say 15 divided by 5, then instead we would skip from 0 all the way to 5, all the way to 10, all the way to 15.
After division, we're gonna learn measurement, perimeter, and area. After that, we're gonna learn fractions. After that, we're gonna learn geometry. After that, we're gonna
Can you say that again? You said measurements for area?
perimeter area.
Okay, so like geometry?
Let me spell it. Perimeter.
Oh yeah, perimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I learned before.
And area. Okay, we can look a little bit into that right now. So do you know what a perimeter is? Do you know what that word means?
Yeah, perimeter. I know what it is. So let's say you have a square.
All right.
So let's say you have a huge square.
That's a rectangle.
This is just an example. And let's say you use 4, like on the top there's 4, and the other side there's a 4. And then we add up, and we put the 4 on the bottom again, and we put the 4 on the other side. So after that, we add up all the sides. So 4 plus 4
It equals 16.
Yep.
That's exactly right. So what the perimeter means is it's the outside border of your shape. So just like you said, Modi, you take all the lengths of all of your sides and you add those up. And that's equal to your perimeter.
So what's a perimeter?
So the
Perimeter-
difference,
Oh, this is easy. All right, like I have a triangle.
And
So
Miss,
there's 3, 3, 3, 3. 3 plus 3 equals 6, 6 plus 3 equals 9, 9 plus 3 equals 12. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12. Is that
so
a perimeter?
well, for that first one, that was a triangle, Esther. So we're only adding the lengths of the sides. So if you're doing a triangle, you only have 3 sides, right? So if they're all 3, then this one would be 3 plus 3 plus 3. So then that would be 9, right? And sorry, Modi, were you trying to say something too?
yeah, I was trying to say that do you have anything that has little tiny squares? Little tiny squares.
Oh, are you talking about like if we did,
Yeah. So it can help you for how much it has to be. So if you're like, oh, I don't understand this. If they don't have a number and like, I don't understand. You can use this. You can use the thing that you already done, and then you can and it can help you with it.
yeah. So in an example like that, if I've got this square and I want to know what the perimeter is, you can divide it into sections. So if you've got it already in a grid, then you count how many little squares on each side. So on this rectangle here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one side. Then if I go down, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I want to calculate the perimeter of my rectangle here, I know this side has 5, this side has 4. And because it's a rectangle, if this side here is 4, that means this side has to be 4 also, right?
You can do it for like triangle.
Same thing here. If the top is 5, that means the bottom has to be 5.
A circle. How about a circle?
How about a circle? So are you guys calculating the perimeter of circles?
What?
So there are formulas to do that. I don't know if that's a little bit complicated.
Next time I come there, I'm warning you.
Okay, I think that's 7th grade, it looks like. So a little bit later, you guys will learn how to do circles. But let's talk about area. What's the difference between area and perimeter?
Area.
So let's take our example here. So the perimeter is we add up the lengths of all the sides, right? So for this rectangle, we've got 4 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5. So what's our perimeter for this one?
For which one?
For this guy right here.
Oh, what? 4 plus
So-
5 plus 4 equals 13.
So 4 plus 5 is how many?
4 plus 5 equals 9.
Yep. So what's 9 plus 4?
13.
Yep. And what's 13 plus 5?
18.
18. All right. So our perimeter is 18. Now the difference between perimeter and area, again, perimeter, we take the lengths of the outside. The area, I want to know the whole shaded, the whole shape. If I add together all these squares, all the ones on the inside, then how big is that? How many squares is that? So the way you calculate area is you take one side times the other side. So I've got 4 here and I've got 5 here. So my area is 4 times 5. So what's 4 times 5, guys?
4 times 5 is 20.
20. So this rectangle here, I have a perimeter of 18. So that's my outside lengths. And then I have an area of 20. And if I were to count all those little squares in here, I would get 20. So that's what your area means. If you add up all the little squares on the inside, how many would you get? Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions on that?
No.
All right, so let's do one more here. Let's see if I can. Ooh, oh no, these are
We want this. Who is that?
let's do it different.
Mama, did you do that?
All right, so for this guy right here, let's calculate the perimeter and also the area. So we're given some information. We know that we've got 2 centimeters tall, and we know that it's 4 centimeters wide. So what do you guys think? How do we calculate the perimeter of this guy?
What?
Do you see this one, Esther?
It's already charging.
Yeah.
All right, so the we want to know the outside. So we want to add all of these lengths here.
6%. Yes.
Sorry, did you say something, Modi?
I'm just talking to my.
Okay. All right, so what we would do is add up all 4 of these sides. So we're going to go 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4. And that's going to be our perimeter. So what does this add up to?
2 plus
12,
4.
12. Good job, Muddy. So that's perimeter. Now we want area. So area is how many squares are there on the inside. So this one's small enough you could just count it yourself, or you can multiply one side by the other side. So this would be 2 times 4. So what's that?
2 times 4 equals 8.
8. Yeah, that's exactly right, Esther. So if we count the squares, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's area and perimeter. So we're out of time for today. This is what you guys are going to be moving to next?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we can do a little more of that next week, get a little more complicated with some of them.
Miss Natalie?
Yeah.
So, there's one thing that some people don't know about multiplication.
Okay.
So, because I did not know that one since my dad told me. So there's gonna be something. So whenever you multiply anything with 0, it gives you 0.
Bro.
So
Yep.
let's say 1 times 0. it'll give you 0.
Yep.
And one time, and let's say with 1 times 2. If you want to do 1 times 2, you have the answer will be 2.
Yep,
Not
that's exactly right. Yeah, because if you think about it, if you've got 0 to start with, it doesn't matter how many more zeros you add on top of that, it's always going to be 0. So you could do 0 times 100 and it's still just 0. That's a good point, Modi. Thanks for sharing. All right, so is there anything else that you guys want to work on next week, or we'll just keep on with the area and perimeter?
I have to.
Okay, well, I will let you guys go this week. So have a good week at school, and we'll see you next week.
Alrighty, bye.
All right,
Bye.
bye guys.
Thank you. Bye, Auntie.